Hi, everyone. So this is Real Talk with Kelsey, episode number 2, and I'm really excited about this topic. I had been praying about what to speak on, and someone actually came to me about one of the topics that I was praying whether or not to speak on, and that was confirmation. So the topic that I'm going to be speaking on today is relationships. So let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first question that they asked, and where I'll start, is what would I tell teenage girls who want a boyfriend? I'll start that off with, there is nothing wrong with you wanting a boyfriend. There is nothing wrong with you wanting companionship, wanting someone to be with and to have fun with and just enjoy being in a relationship with, I personally was not allowed to date as a teenager. I was not allowed to date till I was 18. And although in that moment, I wasn't a huge fan of that rule, I do very much appreciate it now. Because I feel like when I was 18, I had already graduated high school. I graduated high school at 17. And then at 18, I was in college. So I had a better head on my shoulders, if you will, or at least was starting to. I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I was deserving of, what I deserved in a relationship. So with that being said, I would say to young girls who want a boyfriend, be patient, know God's timing, and know when it's best for you to date. I guess teach their own. Every parent is going to have a different style when it comes to allowing their children to date. My parents chose not to let us date. Me and my sisters, we were not allowed to date till we were 18. And I love that decision. And that is something that I want to implement with my children, boy or girl, doesn't matter. Once I start having kids. So I would say to young girls who want a boyfriend, just be patient and trust in God's timing and trust in when He's going to bring the right person. That being said, that brings me to question number 2. If you are dating, if you've already started dating and you're a teenager who is dating, what would I tell them if they are with someone who verbally abuses and cheats or cheats on them? I was asked this question because, as seen in my first video, those are 2 things that my last partner before my husband did to me. I dealt with verbal abuse and cheating. So those are 2 topics that I know a good amount about. And I will say what the phrase that made the biggest impact on me on getting out of that relationship. So that's your answer in itself. Get out of that relationship. Because let's say you had a child, a daughter, son, doesn't matter. Both sexes go through these things. Your kid came to you and told you that their partner, their spouse, their significant other for dating was treating them the way that your current significant other is treating you, is degrading them, is telling them that they're not worth anything, is making them feel like they do not deserve love because they're the problem, right? Because that's usually how these people perceive their significant other. They're the problem, not them. And you find out that they are telling them the things that your spouse tells, or I keep saying spouse, that your partner, that your significant other is telling you, and treating them the way that you're being treated. And then or let's say you find out, your child comes to you and they found out that their significant other, their boyfriend or girlfriend, was cheating on them. As a parent, what would you tell them? Would you tell them what you tell yourself? Would you tell them, oh, you probably did something to make them mad? It was your fault. Would you tell them, well, I mean, if they're saying it, it must be true? Would you tell them, well, they promised they'd never do it again, right? So just trust them. It's going to be okay. Or would you tell them that they are worth more than the way they're being treated? Would you tell them that no one deserves to be treated that way, especially not someone who was so beautifully and wonderfully made? Would you tell them, come home, it's okay, we'll take care of this, we'll get through this together, and you're going to meet someone someday that's going to treat you so much better? If you would say all of those things to your child, why isn't that true for you? You deserve someone who treats you better. You deserve someone who loves you and has their eyes only on you when they're with you and when they're not. You deserve somebody who loves you and treats you with love and respect and honors you the way you deserve to be. So if you are in a relationship with someone who is abusive in any way, shape, or form, if you are with somebody who keeps cheating on you and telling you it's never going to happen again, only for it to happen again, it's time to end it. It's time to move forward. It's time to focus on God and what He's obviously showing you about that person. And it's time to realize that you deserve better. That is what I would say to somebody who is with someone who is treating them that way, is you deserve better. The next question that I received was, what did I do in the period of waiting to meet my husband, to meet the person that I knew I was going to be with one day? So I'm a visual person. I need like visual pictures, if you will, in my mind to connect something to, so that I have something that I can see in here that makes it easier for me to do things like wait. I am naturally a very impatient person, and my husband somewhere is saying amen. But I am not a super patient person. And in being an impatient person naturally, in the flesh, I am very impatient. In the period of waiting for the right person, I took it upon myself to search for him instead of waiting for him. And I did not find the right person. I found who I thought was the right person and ended up in a situation that I ended up learning from. But when I exited that situation, I knew something had to change. So in the period of waiting for my husband, for who I am married to today, I told God that I wanted to focus on him and him alone. And so in my head, because I'm a visual person, I imagined taking God's hand and joining him in a waltz. For those of you who don't know what a waltz is, it's a type of dance. I was a dancer, so dancing comes naturally to my mind. I told him I wanted to waltz with him. I wanted to dance with him. And in a waltz, you have to focus on your partner. You have to keep your eyes on your partner, because you have to follow their every move in order for the dance to go smoothly, to go fluidly, and for you to be able to follow and know what their next step is, to know if they're going to turn you, to know if they're going to move to the left, if they're going to move back, forward, or to the right. You have to focus on your dance partner. So I told God, after I exited that relationship, that for an entire year, and you can choose the time frame, but I wanted to make sure that it was for an entire year that I focused on him and him alone. I didn't think about dating. I didn't want to think about dating. I was in no way, shape, or form ready for another relationship. So I told him, the only relationship that I want to focus on is you. I want to focus on my walk with you. And so I started waltzing with the Father. And what happened while doing that was he led me. He led me through every stage of healing. He led me through every single tear. He led me through every single laugh. He led me through every single motion of the emotions that would come. He led me through every single step for that next year. And he led me to my husband. So when you follow the Father, and if you're in that time of waiting, if you know that you're not with the right person, or if you're single currently and you are in that time of waiting for the right person, and you know that you want to wait for that person and that person alone because you know that they are who God has for you, waltz with him. If you're a guy and you don't want to waltz, walk with him. Follow his step. Follow him step for step. Know exactly where he's going to turn. Know exactly where he's going to lead you next. Focus on him and him alone. And in doing so, he will make the waiting seem effortless. It was easy. That year went by so fast, and I wasn't planning on giving it a year and then I'll jump back into the dating world. I told God, I don't want to date. So you're going to have to bring me the right man that you have for me, because I know that you have him. I know that he's out there. So you're going to have to bring me to him, and you're going to have to bring him to me, because I'm not searching anymore. I'm keeping my eyes on you and you alone. When we cling so tightly to what this world says we're supposed to do, we're supposed to date multiple people. We're supposed to go from person to person until you find the right person. You're supposed to be able to do this, and you're supposed to be able to sleep around. You're supposed to be able to go from guy to guy, from girl to girl, and it's normal. They filled us with so many lies, so many things that aren't true. You're not supposed to do that. God can bring you the right person if you just wait. It's all about being patient. But when we but when we cling so tightly to what this world says we should do in relationships, and how we should wait, or how we shouldn't wait, or how we should move forward, we not only lose our desire to be able to give ourselves to God fully and freely, but in doing so, we lose the ability to receive what he has for us. When you're searching, when you're going from person to person, when you are trying to, I'm going to find him. I'm going to find my husband. I'm looking for my husband. You're losing sight of the Father and of your walk with him, because you're so focused on finding that relationship that when he wants to give it to you, when it's finally time for you to receive it, you're not even looking at God, and he's ready to show you. But your focus is on something else or someone else, and you miss it. So what I would say is that God wants us to desire him above all. When we desire him, when we focus on him, he'll bring the right person. It's just about being patient. It's just about being able to dance with him, walk with him in the waiting. So that's what I'll say for that. The next question that I was asked was, when did I start praying for my husband? I have been praying for my husband since I was a teenager. I have known that I was ready to, I knew exactly what I wanted him to like in my head. I never asked for features specifically. When I was 16 years old, my youth leader at the time was my older sister, and she told us all to make a list of everything that we want God to bring us in our future spouse, in our future husband, our wife, whoever. And I made a list, and she told us, it sounds silly. Be as specific as you possibly can. Write down every single thing that you hope that they are. Write down the hobbies that you want them to have. Write down the interests, that cars or motorcycles, whatever. Write down what you want them to be interested in. Write down, if you want to write down what you hope that they look like, down to, I want them to have a nice smile. I want them to have dark features. I want them to have, like, she was like, be as specific as possible, because when you make that list and you pray about it and you tell God, this is the desire of my heart. This is who I am looking for. He can give it to you. Spoiler alert. I still have that list. My husband checks off every single box of everything that I wrote down. My husband met every single expectation that I had of him. So I started praying for my husband at a very young age. And I knew who I wanted him to be, and I knew what I wanted him to be like and everything. But this was something that God brought to me a long time ago. And it's something that I've told to young girls and young men in moving forward after meeting my husband and before meeting my husband while dating him. You can pray for who you want your future husband to be. You can pray for who you want your future wife to be, and you can know that God is going to bring that person. While you're waiting for him to bring that person, are you the woman or man of God that they're praying for? Have you readied yourself? Do you meet all of their boxes? Have you checked off all of their boxes? Are you the woman of God or man of God that they deserve? Because God's turning them into the woman or man of God that you deserve. But are you who they are looking for? That was something that I had to deal with myself about. That was something that part of the reason why I wanted to make sure that I stayed focused on God until he brought me my husband, because I wanted to make sure that I was the woman that he was praying for, that he wasn't just the man that I was praying for. I wanted to make sure I was the woman he had prayed for. And that was something that when me and my husband started dating, I was brought to tears because he told me, "You are exactly who I prayed for. You are exactly the woman of God that I believed he would bring me one day." And it made me ugly cry. Like, I was so just beyond blessed because I knew that I had done the right thing. I had focused on the Father. I had made sure that my mind and my heart and my focus was only on him so that I could be exactly who my husband deserved. So that he did the same thing. He focused on his relationship with God so that he could be the man of God that I deserved. It goes both ways. It's not just about the girls. It's not just about the guys. Are you who they are looking for? Because you could meet them and you're like, this is them. They check off all the boxes, but they will look right past you because maybe you're not who you need to be for it to be the right time, for it to be the right person for them. So make sure that you're not just praying for your husband. Make sure that you're readying yourself so that you are the person that he is praying for as well, that you are the person that she is praying for as well. Amen. So that is what I'll say. But I did start praying for my husband at a very young age. And there is no bad timing. There's no right time to start. If that's not something that you've ever done before, start doing it now. Start praying for exactly who you know your husband is. Pray for exactly who you know you want your wife to be, and start readying yourself so that when they find you, you're exactly who they've been praying for as well. My next question was, how did we meet? How did me and my husband meet? So me and my husband, and this has been in a video, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen possibly one of the wedding videos that our amazing photographer made for us. He interviewed us and talked to us about how we met, just some questions like that. And so we've gone into a little bit of detail on that. A video has been posted about that before. But me and my husband met when we were kids. Our parents were connected. We've known each other for a very long time. I think I was 5 years old and he was about 10 years old when we met for the first time. And obviously we were not interested in each other in any way, shape, or form. That was not on our mind at the time. Fast forward to when I was 21 and he was about 26 years old. That is when we met again. Our families came together for ministry and we met again in New York. And it was in New York that we caught each other's attention for the first time. And he states, his words are, he noticed me immediately. And he was immediately drawn to me, although neither of us were brave enough to talk to each other or try to talk to each other. I did think he was very handsome. I thought he was very cute. And I was like, oh God, but I'm not here for that. My mindset was, I'm here for ministry. Besides, he's 5 years older than me. He probably thinks I'm a kid still. He's not going to be interested in me. So I'm not even going to try to be cute or flirty or anything like that, because that's not what I'm here for. He's probably not interested anyways. And I moved forward. We did start talking a little bit after that, getting to know each other. And he even made the trip down here to North Carolina to spend time with me because he wanted to pursue me as far as like dating me at that time. And I will lead that into the next question, which was, did you know he was the one when you met him? I did not. I thought he was too perfect. I thought he was too good for me because I knew I wasn't who I was supposed to be to deserve someone like him. The enemy started placing doubt and fear inside of me, and I fed on that fear and told him, we should just be friends. I can't do this. Like, I don't think I'm interested in you in that way. When truthfully I was. I very much wanted to be with him, but I allowed the enemy to tell me I wasn't worthy. I wasn't good enough. And I was still trying to figure out my life and my walk with God, with which in the first video you guys have seen, I was like trying very hard to live for God, but the enemy was fighting me really, really hard because of everything that I had allowed previously in my life. So I did not know he was the one immediately, but I thought he could be. And that scared me. So fast forward 5 more years, and all of that praying that I had been doing for my husband and was still doing for my husband, I was praying that he would not meet anybody else, that he would never be with anyone else, that he would wait for me and that he would be searching for me. That next 5 years, I entered a relationship I shouldn't have been in. I made mistakes. I had to learn certain lessons, and I became who I was supposed to be. I became the woman of God that my husband was praying for. All that time, God was still answering my prayers because he stayed single the entire time. There were girls that would try to talk to him, but he said again, his words, not pumping myself up or anything like that, but he said every single person that tried to talk to him, he always compared to me. And he knew that God had told him that I was his wife. So he was going to be obedient. He was going to wait, and he didn't care how long it took. He said he knew at some point in time he was going to marry me. He was going to be with me. And so he waited for me. And that in itself, God just keeps showing grace and just has been so amazing to me. And I'll end with this. The right person will treat you so well. The right person will be better than anything you could have ever imagined. My husband is so amazing to me. My husband treats me better than anyone I have ever been in contact with besides my dad. He treats me so well, and he loves me every single day. He shows me how much he loves me, whether it's leaving me little notes on our mirror when I get up in the morning when he's traveling, whether it's coming home randomly with flowers because he knows how much I love fresh flowers. So every time any that he's bought me in the past have died, he brings me new ones. Whether it is him coming into the room and just being like, hey, you doing okay? Like, are you good? Like, do you need anything? When I'm doing my little projects on the couch and he's in the office working, he comes in and he checks on me just to make sure that I'm okay. He comes in and he makes sure that I know I'm always on his mind. I'm always somebody that he's thinking about. He is always going to make sure that I'm okay, that I know that I'm loved, that I know that he's there, and that I know that he will do whatever it takes to keep me happy and make me happy. And I love the fact that I get to make him happy. I get to make him smile. I get to make him know that he's loved and that he is cared for and that he is everything that I have been praying for since I was 13 years old. And I love the life that I have. I love the relationship that I am in. So if I can give you any hope, be patient. Wait. It's worth the wait. It's hard. It is not easy to wait, but it is so worth it. When you wait and you focus on God and you keep your eyes on the Father, he will bring you the exact person that you have been praying for. And he will bring you the exact man or woman of God, whether you're a man or a woman of God. He will bring you the right person at the right time, but it's not going to be in your timing. It's in his. And I know none of us love to hear that because God's timing, who knows what's God's timing? We never know. But if you can be okay, if you can be comfortable with it just being you and God, focus on him, walk with him, waltz with him. If you can be okay with the concept that it may always be just you and God, He will give you the desires of your heart. He will bring the right person, and it'll be in his timing, and it will be effortless. It will be easy, and he will give you every single desire. He will check off every single box. So be patient, be ready yourself, be patient, and know that he is God and he will take care of you. Amen. So this has been Real Talk with Kelsey. Please let me know if you'd like a part 2. I will bring my husband in for a part 2 on relationships, and I can get a perspective of a man, and I can even ask him some of the questions that I was asked and see if he has a different response based off of what he's gone through. Me and my husband actually have very similar testimonies when it comes to our previous relationships. And that's part of why we trust each other so much and we mesh so well and we are so open with each other, because we've gone through a lot of similar things. So if you guys would like a man's perspective on this topic, I would love to bring him in with me, and he can give you guys some more wisdom on what he has dealt with and what he's gone through, and some of the concepts that I've been asked of. He can give you his perspective on that. I would love to do that if you guys are interested in that. So please let me know. But I can't wait to chat with you guys again soon, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.